TWF Power or Might. I am Trini Kwan with I am Jonathan Coachman here with Trini Kwan and Corey Graves. And today on Power or Might, we're going to see someone we haven't seen in months. Well, since April, if you can believe that. That would be MJF, or Maxwell Jacob Friedman, as he calls himself. Jonathan Coachman says, well, Trini Kwan said one of those AEW wrestlers. You know, a lot of folks says that he's one of those young wrestlers that, you know, made a name for himself in MLW and the NWA and ZCW before going to AEW. Some folks say Trini Kwan says he's like The Miz in some ways, or offshoot of The Miz in some ways. Yeah, I would say so, but at the end of the day, I would say say so, Corey Graves said. But at the end of the day, there are some things about The Miz and MJF that are the same, and there are some things that are not the same. So, months ago, I was in a fight with Drew McIntyre. And then that was it. I had no one seen me since April. But I'm talking about something that happened way, way earlier on than my hangs up with Drew McIntyre. I'm going to talk about how when I came to the TWF, I had made this team with The Miz. And as soon as we lost our TWF team winnings, he shifted on me. So, Miz, you think you're greater than everyone else. You think you're so cool, but you're not, Miz. You know, everything that you think you've done so great, I beating you in it. A lot of folks like to say that we're one and the same. But at the end of the day, Miz, I don't think we are. You know? I don't think we are one and the same. And you think you're greater than me. Oh, is it? Oh, fuck. Oh, is it MJF? Oh, I get it. You think you're me. Everyone talks about how great MJF is, how great Maxwell Jacob Friedman is. But answer me this. How many winnings did you win in AEW? None. So since you won no winnings in AEW, but somehow, some way you're great than me? You're greater than me? Like, how the fuck does that work? You have never won anything in your run in AEW. But everybody keeps talking about how great you are. Now, I know that you're going to somehow spin it, because that's what you do. You're going to make out to be like that. I'm kind-hating. I'm lustful. Oh, and I don't like you because you're Jewish. But let's be honest about that. It has nothing to do with your worship. It has nothing to do with that. Had nothing to do with nothing. Had nothing to do with where your forekin came from, what your worship is, or anything like that. So don't spin it that way. Miz, you know why folks like me more than like you? Because I don't come out on Dynamite or Rampage or whatever shows I come out on and talk about how great I am. I don't talk about how I was a show player who became a wrestler and then somehow thinks he's greater than everyone else. I don't come out and talk about how I got a Farseer show on USA Folkwork. And I don't talk about how I bought a big house. And I don't talk about how I talk about my wife and my kids, and talk about how I'm so greater than everyone else because somehow, some way I made it big. And somehow now you talk down to everyone as if you're greater than them because you're no longer like them. You know what, Miz? You forget where you came from. Yeah, you like to shame, you shame everything about Cleveland, Ohio wanted rights. It's almost as if you're ashamed of where you came from. Yeah, you're ashamed to talk about your beginnings. See, everybody talks about how you are now, but you don't want to talk about your past. You shame everyone else and think you're greater than everyone else. But hey, Miz, what would happen if you would ever get fired from WWE? What would happen? I'm sure you got some gal kept somewhere, so you probably wouldn't run out of gal anytime soon. But would you go to AEW? Probably not, because you might have to wrestle someone who's more gifted and skilled than you. And unlike you, Miz, I don't talk about how being a show player and being a wrestler is so makes me greater than everyone else. I don't talk about all that shit. MJF, you seem to think that I think I'm greater than everyone else. Let's not forget about the shit you talk about and the shit you do when you're in AEW. You do the same thing. You like to talk about how you're greater than everyone else, and everyone else is either kind-hating, or either they're lustful, or they're this or that. But you hate kids. Yeah, MJF, you hate kids. That's one thing I don't do. I don't go around and hate on folks. And you mistaken me for the self that I play in WWE. Just like I might mistaken you for the self you play in AEW. But you know what I dropped you for? Because I don't need some Miz wannabe. I don't need another Alex Riley. I don't need a Logan Paul. I don't need any... Oh, you got Tommaso Ciampa. You got him taking their steads. Yeah, just like you had some bullshit body keeper too. You want to be like me so bad, you'll do everything I did. The only thing is, you never won no winnings. Jack shit, you won nothing. And don't talk about what you won in MLW, NWA, or ZCW. You won nothing in AEW. You're not their heavyweight fighter. You're not the AEW TNT fighter, the AEW TBS fighter. You're not the team fighter. Hell, you're naughties and you never won nothing. Guess you're not good enough. Or I guess Shao Kahn and Anthony Kong don't think you're the kind of wrestler that should be a fighter. But you see something? I won the WWE heavyweight winnings 2 times. I won the WWE Wanted Rights winnings 2 times. I became a 8-time WWE Interlando fighter, a 4-time WWE Raw team fighter, and a 3-time WWE SmackDown team fighter. I done shit you never did. Gal in the Box winner 2 times. You didn't do nothing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to shift over and I'm going to get ready to fight you. Because at the end of the day, Miz, you're not awesome. You're sickening. Is that right? Come on, let's fight. What do you got, MJF? Some more slights? Some more scathing, shaming, guilting? That's what you seem to be good at. Oh no, see, I can't make matches. I can't make fights. But I know someone... forgive me here, fellows, or lords. But I happen to see... Oh, fuck. I happen to see that MJF has gotten bold, and he's daring you to a match, Miz. It seems that MJF must have bigger balls than you do, Miz, because he's bold enough to fight you. Don't start that shit about my balls, you know. I am sick of everyone bringing up that. Well, if you want folks to shut up about that, why don't you do something? Here today, The Miz. Today we got MJF fighting The Miz. Here today on Power or Might. So says the Stephanie McMahon offshoot astronomer. The Miz says, I didn't notice the astronomer was an offshoot of Stephanie McMahon, MJF says. Let's get the Fight Lord in here now. Well, it seems that the Fight Lord, ding-ding-ding. Well, here we go now. The Fight Lord's underway now. And oh, MJF just took down The Miz. And he gave him the skull crashing, the skull smashing ending. This would be so shameful, Jonathan Coachman says. Yeah, it would, Corey Graves said. Losing to MJF, losing to The Miz wannabe. While Trini Kwan said, we'll see how he likes it. 1, 2. Well, only a 2 count, because MJF isn't done yet. MJF comes from the top rope, from the top steeple, and knocking down The Miz, Jonathan Coachman says. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't shame The Miz, Corey Graves said. Another skull ending smash. Another skull smashing ending, Jonathan Coachman said. Well, Trini Kwan said, looks like MJF, The Miz wannabe, is beating The Miz, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, MJF, or also known as Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Well, it looks like The Miz just got shamed it again by Maxwell Jacob Friedman here on Power or Might, Jonathan Coachman says. And I'm sure I know someone out there is going to scathe that for being a short match or a little match or a small match or a fight. But it is what it is, you know. But at the end of the day, Trini Kwan said, we might be known for, we're not really that good, but we know our films are good. And the TWF has been a long yesteryear going back to between 93 YL. So we got a way more head start than anybody else on YouTube. But they want to say our films aren't, I think our films are good. But at the end of the day, I think that the MJF got even with The Miz. Trini Kwan said. I'll tell you one thing, Corey Graves says, MJF, he better wish The Miz, he better yield at The Miz, you know, don't come back at him. Because if The Miz does, he'll be sorry, Corey Graves says. Well, Joey Styles now is going to talk with The Miz. Alright, Jonathan Coachman, I'm going to be talking with The Miz here on Power and Might. Alright, MJF, alright, Miz, you just lost to MJF. How'd that make you feel? Oh, Joey Styles, it makes me feel like shit. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, MJF or Maxwell Jacob Friedman, what's he done? He didn't do shit. He's been gone since April. Now he comes back, shames me, and everyone loves him. Well, I've done a lot more things in WWE than he's done in AEW, and that's the truth. And I know you're going to bring up, oh, but he did this in NWA and MLW. He did this in ZCW. But he didn't do shit in AEW, we know that. I've done a lot more stuff in WWE and OVW and DSW and he ever done in his whole wrestling calling. MJF, I'm not done with you. You shame me, I'm going to shame you back. I don't need this wannabe in the TWF. When I get my hands on you, you'll be gone longer than so many months. You'll be gone forever. Well, The Miz is still angry at MJF. Back to you, Jonathan Coachman. Well, thank you, Joey Styles, for talking with The Miz here today on Friday night, here today on Power or Might, Jonathan Coachman says. And it's all the time we got here for Power or Might. I am Jonathan Coachman for Trini Kwan and Corey Graves. We hope you like Power and Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Monday Night Raw or Alone Day Night Raw.